Hello and a very warm welcome to this special. We are previewing the big match tonight. It is India versus New Zealand. Both are yet to register a win in the tournament, and that's why this match gets so crucial for the two teams. India had lost to Pakistan and so did New Zealand, and India have had the time to regroup, reassess their problems, their issues. They've realized what they need to address. So we'll get into what India needs to do to win this game. But there is this report that is coming in from Dubai that Rohit Sharma, in fact, has a slight niggle and might not play. Still unconfirmed reports, but we are joined by Shubhayan, who will be there. But I also have with me Nikhil Narayan. So we will analyze or preview, figure out what can India do, what do the records suggest when it comes to India versus New Zealand. All of that will be discussed here on the show. But let me first go straight to Dubai. And if Shubhayan is with me, okay, so we're trying to get Shubhayan to talk to us. We're still trying to connect with him. He's outside the stadium. And let me tell you, Indian fans have started flocking in. They've started, they're there in huge numbers as expected. You saw some New Zealand fans as well. We'll show you the visuals of that in a bit. But yes, that is the big match, India versus New Zealand. Nikhil's here, and let's talk about this big match. Nikhil, head to head, we've talked about it. It is completely skewed in New Zealand's favor in ICC events.
Yes, ma'am. It's 11-3 in New Zealand's favor. India has never beaten New Zealand in a World T20. It's 0-2 in World T20s. The last time we played in Nagpur in 2016, Mitchell Santner took 4 wickets. So India last defeated New Zealand in a big ICC, in a World Cup encounter in 2003. So, you know, it's going to be a tough encounter for India. ICC record favors New Zealand, but, you know, India has form on their side, as we've discussed before. They recently beat New Zealand 5-0 in New Zealand. So it's an interesting matchup between ICC record and current form.
In fact, as we try to get Shubhayan to talk to us, let's also take a look at what the fans had to say before this encounter. There are some of those fans outside the stadium who've spoken to Shubhayan just a little while before. So listen into what the fans are saying and what the vibe is outside the Dubai International Stadium.
For an India win, we're really very excited. Good luck to Team India.
Hey guys, my name is Hiren. Yes, you're to support India.
Which player are you backing today?
I want KL Rahul to fire. I'm going to be standing in the stand catching the ball. So that's what I want, KL Rahul to fire. Come on guys, cheer for India.
I support Team India, whatever.
Your name,
Yes.
your name.
Snigdha.
Okay. So is this the first time you're coming in to watch a live game?
No, many a chance, but in Dubai, this T20, yes, the first time.
And what was the feeling like after seeing India lose to Pakistan? I mean, obviously a very close game.
Very close, no, not really.
No, I mean,
but
as in-
yeah.
All right, Shubhayan joins us now from outside the stadium. Shubhayan, what is the buzz there? There are reports that are coming in that Rohit Sharma, in fact, might not play. Can you give us a little more detail on that?
I'm not outside the stadium, but I'm inside the stadium. I was just catching some glimpses of the Indian warm-up section. So
Okay.
Hardik Pandya looks like he will bowl today. He was going through some warm-up drills here, bowling coach Bharat Arun. And Rohit Sharma, there were speculations that he might not play, but he will. He was seen doing some warm-up, doing some knocking along with batting coach Vikram Rathod. So I think India are safe in that regard. But the big news coming in is that it is a toss-up between Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Shardul Thakur when it comes to the playing 11. And I have a feeling that looking at how the Indian team was warming up, we might see Shardul Thakur coming to the playing 11.
So that's the big thing, that in fact there is a chance that Bhuvneshwar may not play this match, but Shardul will. And we've been talking about this, Nikhil, because it's important. Bhuvneshwar has been struggling. He was given the new ball. Doesn't look like the Bhuvneshwar we're used to seeing, you know, didn't see the swing, didn't have the pace. It's only fair that Shardul, who's done well in the recent past, gets an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, not surprising. We've been saying this, that there will be one change, which will be Bhuvneshwar out and Shardul in. Shardul was CSK's highest wicket taker, Bhuvneshwar was very off color for SRH. So not surprising at all that if India makes this one change.
If India wins the toss, they will look to chase, as we've seen in the trends.
Absolutely.
All teams winning
Yeah.
the toss are chasing, except for Afghanistan, and they did, as we were talking about it, they did run Pakistan close. But Shubhayan, we've already talked about this earlier as well, about Virat Kohli and the luck he has with toss. The good thing is that we haven't seen dew being a huge factor in the last couple of games, so that's good for both the teams in case, you know, one is to bat first, because that was a crucial thing, and we've talked about it in our earlier shows.
Absolutely. In the last two matches, we have already covered it thoroughly, that there wasn't much dew in the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, but dew is something which depends on day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So we might or might not see dew at all in the match today. But Neha, one interesting thing I would like to say to our viewers, that we are just seeing the glimpses of the Conway family, Devon Conway's family. We just
Yes.
met them outside the stadium, and they were absolutely buzzing. They backed their son Devon Conway to make some runs against Indian team. And I asked them whether they would like to see Devon opening for New Zealand. We saw Darrell Mitchell surprisingly open along with Martin Guptill in the last game when they took on Pakistan. But Devon Conway, we all know how devastating he is in the shortest format of the game, and his rise in the international circuit is something which has been tremendous for New Zealand in the last 1 year or so.
Yeah. Devon Conway is also a very important, crucial batsman for them, Nikhil, given how he's gone about his career. It's a small, you know, he's not had too much time, but he's already got a lot of runs under the belt, and crucial for them when it comes to their batting.
Absolutely. He started with a double century at Lord's, you know, against England, Test debut. What a start that was.
Yeah.
No, he's been brilliant. Across formats, if you see ODIs, Tests and T20Is, phenomenal start by Conway. He scores big runs and he scores them at a very high strike rate. And he's also quite orthodox, which is very strange.
Yeah.
You know, so he's a very old-fashioned cricketer, but he gets the big runs even in T20 cricket at a high strike rate, and that's what makes him slightly unique.
Let's also talk about some of the other players, the key players for both these teams. And for India, Nikhil, we've talked about the openers before, but a crucial match for them, because if your openers get going,
Yeah.
and power plays being such a huge part
Yeah.
of this tournament, if you get going in the power plays, that helps you as a team. So you would want Rohit and KL to
Yeah.
fire.
Absolutely. As I said before, we were discussing this in the last preview, Meha. This match will be decided by how both sets of openers go in the power play in each innings. Rahul and Rohit are extremely crucial for India. Rohit hasn't been in the best of form in the IPL last couple of seasons. Also in T20Is this year, he hasn't been in the best of form. But expect Rohit Sharma to fire, you know, in the big tournament. You know, we all know what he did in the 2019 World Cup. I'm expecting Rohit Sharma to go big today. KL Rahul is an IPL run machine. I mean, no one scored more runs in 218 than KL Rahul. So Rahul and Rohit, extremely crucial, in some ways even more important than Virat Kohli.
The other thing is also the kind of gap that India have had, Shubhayan. Will this work in their favour? Virat Kohli in the press conference that I heard spoke about how they are really raring to go. They've just been sitting, trying to just pass their time somehow. They're all waiting. They're itching to go. And it must be difficult as a team when you see other teams playing 1, 2, 3 matches and you've still just played one and you have this gap. Though when you went for the training session, you got the feeling that this team's very relaxed. Isn't that so?
Yeah, MS Dhoni, as we discussed earlier in our preview show, that he was seen joking around with some fan, and as we speak, I'm not single. Yeah. So as we speak, the toss is happening at the moment. It's time for the toss. Both the captains are in for the toss there. So it is going to be a fascinating contest. It is going to be a very, very interesting contest, and it remains to be seen who wins this game, because this is going to be a deciding factor. But as we speak, I am seeing Shardul Thakur bowl extensively in the warm-up pitches that is being prepared for Team India, and whereas Hardik Pandya is seeing some doing some knocking along with Vikram Rathod there. So pretty interesting developments out there. Pretty interesting development out there in the middle right at the moment, and we are just seconds away from the toss, and Kane Williamson are gearing up for that coin flip. The much talked about coin flip.
Yeah. The good thing is, though, for Virat Kohli, and we're going to get to the toss as it happens, and in fact, it's going to happen any moment. But the good thing about this team is the kind of statement that Virat Kohli gave for Mohammad Shami. I think that was needed. That will also unite this team. If anybody had any doubt that they weren't united or there was any kind of divide, I think it was the need of the hour that Virat comes out and speaks about it. But the strong words that he used. Yeah. I think that is sort of the takeaway for everybody, for all the fans as well, that you cannot do this to my teammate. Don't you dare.
Absolutely. Frank, bold, absolutely, fantastic by Virat Kohli, as expected of a fine captain.
So one of the things that I'm reading here is that Virat Kohli walked out for toss, and that's the kind of camaraderie they have. He hugs Kane Williamson. They are very good friends. Yeah. They discuss their batting techniques, they discuss cricket in general, and Virat Kohli has been very open about his affection for Kane Williamson and vice versa. But this is great. This is a growing rivalry, isn't that so, Nikhil? I mean, you see this team, both teams very good, and you see that camaraderie, but at the same time, they've met in very crucial encounters. There was the World Test Championship. I wonder how this is going to pan out as we wait for the toss, but a lot will depend on the batting of these two sides. I also feel because the batting didn't do as well in their opening encounters for each of these teams.
Absolutely. We've discussed the top three. Then Rishabh Pant, Ravindra Jadeja and Hardik, if he plays, have to come to the party, especially Hardik. He has to provide that finish Meha today. Yeah.
I like this. MS Dhoni is talking to Varun Chakravarti about tactics. Mr. Dhoni is always present, ever, omnipresent in this side, always giving guidance to everybody. Rishabh Pant, he's feeling the middle of the pitch. Bumrah and Nisham have a chat, which is also interesting given that they're Mumbai Indians teammates. But again, camaraderie and love all around between these two teams. Though once the match starts, things will be different because for both these teams, winning this match is so important. Pakistan already at the top of the table, having won all three of their encounters. And
Afghanistan has beaten Namibia.
Afghanistan have beaten Namibia, but Kane Williamson is talking, which means that New Zealand have won the toss and have opted to field.
No surprises, yeah.
Okay, so let's take a moment to just figure out what this means for India. A couple of things. It means India will bat first, and not just that, they will need that cushion of 20 odd runs that we've been talking about, Shubayan. If you're still there, not distracted by all that is happening around you, one of the major things for India here, openers have to get a good start.
Absolutely, and Virat Kohli, our players, all the havans that all the fans have done, it hasn't worked when it comes to Virat Kohli's toss luck. He has again lost it, and Kane Williamson has won the toss and have opted to field first, and this was expected. This was expected from this team. Anyone who wins the toss is going to field first, given the due factor in this Dubai International Cricket Stadium. But we will, all the fans will have their wait come to an end because the playing 11 is also likely to be revealed. It's set to be revealed.
So the news is also, sorry, I'm going to cut you there. Bhuvneshwar is out, and as expected, Shardul is in. That's the news that is coming in from Dubai, that Bhuvneshwar sits out, as we'd also talked about in our pre-match show, that all likelihood of Bhuvneshwar sitting out, given that he struggled in the first game. So that is the only change that India have made. Hardik Pandya is very much in. Rohit Sharma is playing, so that's a good thing. There is no niggle there. There was this little information that was trickling in before. Rohit playing, Hardik playing, Shardul playing, and there is another change that I'm just getting to know here is, Surya Kumar Yadav complained of back spasm, so he's been advised rest by the BCCI medical team. This is what I'm getting from the BCCI, and he has stayed back at the team hotel.
Ishan Kishan is playing, I think.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
if I can-
Ishan
if
Kishan
I can
comes in.
comment.
1 second. That's why Ishan Kishan comes in. And that's why the problem here, because in the team sheet, I did not see Surya Kumar Yadav's name. They haven't put his name here, or am I missing it? No, his name is not there. Hence the confusion. So there are two changes here. There are two changes for this Indian team. On the team sheet, they haven't put, for some reason, haven't put Surya Kumar Yadav's name, and that's why the confusion, because in the subs, there are only 3 subs, which basically means, to clarify it all, Ishan Kishan is playing because Surya Kumar Yadav complained of back spasm, and he has stayed back in the team hotel. So Ishan Kishan comes in, and Bhuvneshwar is sitting out. In place of him, you have Shardul Thakur, and we have the playing 11. What do you make of that?
Interesting changes. One was expected, the other one little surprising. But if he has back spasm, that's Ishan Kishan comes in as a natural replacement. What will be interesting, Meha, is that where does Ishan Kishan bat? Does he take Surya Kumar's batting order position, or does he open and Rahul comes down? Even Rohit can come down. So this is a very interesting dynamic. Ishan Kishan has excelled from different batting positions for Mumbai Indians.
Okay, so now Virat Kohli has confirmed that Ishan Kishan will open the innings.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there
Who's
are a
going down?
lot
Rahul.
of things,
Rahul is
going on.
Yeah.
And you thought Virat Kohli is not going to make any changes. Who was talking about all those things about CSK's type of brand of cricket? Because here there are a couple of changes. One forced one there. Surya Kumar Yadav, back spasm, has stayed back in the team hotel. Ishan Kishan comes in and goes right up to open the innings. That's what Virat Kohli has confirmed. Bhuvneshwar Yadav, because of the struggle in the first match, Lord Chardul gets a look in. He is told, you are going to be playing this all-crucial match against New Zealand. Let's also talk to Shubhayan. Shubhayan, that one was a forced change. But what is interesting is Virat confirming that Ishan's in fact going to open.
Yeah, and in all likelihood, KL Rahul is going to come at number 4 because of his dynamism with the bat. He is a very flexible batter. He can, sorry for the noise here, but he is a flexible batter. He is a dynamic batter. He can hit from the wide go. He can play an anchor role if the team loses a couple of wickets earlier. And mind you, Ishan batting first means that they can negate that Trent Bolt threat up front because of that left hand right hand combination. We know that KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma both were dismissed by Shaheen Shah Afridi's incoming delivery. So I think Kishan batting as an opener comes as a very, very good news and a handy news for the Indian team. And as we said just at the start of this show, that Shardul Thakur is likely to play this match, and it has happened. So 2 good changes for the Indian team and big changes in the context of the game.
Okay, the other the news from the New Zealand camp is that Conway will keep wickets and Seifert is out.
Adam Milne is in, yeah.
Yeah, Adam Milne is in, like for Lockie Ferguson. They'd been wanting Adam Milne into the side after Lockie Ferguson was ruled out because of that calf tear. But again, just coming back to the Indian lineup, that's a good point there that Shubhayan talked about, left-right combination, and that's something that India really believes in as well, because you saw what happened in the last match. Also, they sent Jadeja up. I know there was a lot of criticism, questions around why that was something, or whether that was the right decision. But they've done this. This is an important one, a left-right combination that they want to play with.
Absolutely, Meha. Left-right combination, and as Shubhayan said, to counter Trent Bolt. Ishan Kishan has a better chance against Trent Bolt than the right-handers. So this just might work in favor of India.
But it's interesting how somehow Ishan Kishan has gotten drafted in, isn't that so? I mean, obviously, maybe this is like a blessing in disguise because it was a forced thing. But Indian batting did struggle in the last game, and Ishan Kishan has been in good form. Even in the warm-up, he scored runs.
Last couple of matches,
so maybe this is you know, what India needs right now.
I mean, Ishan Kishan is very interesting because in this IPL, he had a miserable IPL in India, also in the UAE till that last match, Mumbai Indians, when he was absolutely sensational. Then in the warm-up, he was brilliant, and now he's in the team. So it's been a roller coaster for Ishan Kishan this year, after a brilliant IPL last year. Ishan Kishan knows one way to play. He will go after the bowling, he will attack, and he will counter-attack, which also will give, you know, Rohit Sharma time to settle into the attack, settle into his batting stride, which he likes to do. So this could really work for India. You know, this has the potential, you know, to India now. I think this is a better opening combination than going with Rohit and Rahul against Bolt, especially.
The other thing being, Shubhayan, that this, even if it is forced, and you may think that that this might be difficult for Ishan Kishan in a big match situation like this, sort of being drafted in as the opener against Trent Bolt. But one thing, if you know of this current batting lineup and the bench strength that India has, these guys don't fear anything. Ishan Kishan being one of them, because whenever he's got an opportunity on the international stage as well, he's performed.
Absolutely, Meher. But just before I come to Ishan Kishan, I'll like to give a good, like a fun news to our viewers that Chennai Super Kings duo of Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Shane Watson are having a lengthy chat down at the middle. So Shane Watson ran onto MS Dhoni, and they are now, as we speak, they are now currently having a lengthy chat in the middle. So it's a good glimpse for all the Chennai Super Kings fans. But coming back to Ishan Kishan, and one factor I think I can put it out that both Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma know Trent Bolt due to their Mumbai Indians connection. So that will also become very, very handy and very crucial to negate that power play threat which Trent Bolt bring into the play. But as we have been discussing that, Ishan Kishan's form. He scored a couple of half centuries in the last couple of matches of IPL, scored a brilliant 50 against England. Didn't bat against Australia, but Ishan Kishan's form, that confidence which he brings as a youngster into the team, will play a major role in this match. And if he can get going, he can be a single-handed match winner, as we have termed the likes of Rishabh Pant to be. Ishan Kishan is at the same level.
You know, the other thing being that no one's talking about now is India's spin department, because that's another big talking point that we should discuss. In fact, given that they were ineffective against Pakistan, you wanted Ravichandran Ashwin in, he didn't get a look in, but it's important, it's imperative for Varun Chakravarti to get wickets earlier on if they want to, especially with New Zealand chasing, if they want to have any hopes of winning.
Absolutely. Chakravarti's role in the power play will be very important. I won't be surprised if he opens the bowling either with Bumrah or with Shami. Maybe with Shami because India wants to reserve Bumrah for the death. So Shami and Varun Chakravarti might open the bowling, and Chakravarti, I think India will be hopeful. Chakravarti will bamboozle the New Zealand batsmen. They're not the greatest players of spin bowling. They like pace onto the bat. So Chakravarti's role today is very, very important, much more important than Jadeja, who's more of a restrictor in the middle overs.
Okay, let's talk about now for India, what should be their strategy when it comes to their batting, Nikhil. They'll be batting first. There is going to be some movement there. So they've got the worst of conditions. There is going to be dew, hopefully not as much, but it will impact somewhere. India's strategy, batting strategy, openers need to get the score, but you've got to have, there've got to be runs and partnerships there.
Yeah, I think the power in UAE is 155, but batting first, we need the 20 runs cushion. So India needs 170 here, 170 plus. Also, they should strategize between themselves, the openers, as far as possible. Let Ishan Kishan play Bolt, let Rohit Sharma handle the other, whoever's bowling from the other end. Virat Kohli has to attack the spinners. It's very, very important for Kohli to go after Ish Sodhi, extremely important. Rishabh Pant has to come good. He should attack the slow left arm orthodox of Mitchell Santner. The ball will be coming in. Apart from that, I think we've already discussed our bowlers. So I think India needs 170 batting first on this wicket. because of the dew factor, which is going to be big.
Shubhayan, it's a bit of a Mumbai Indians reunion right at the top, you know, with Trent Bolt with the new ball, Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma, though, I mean, two opposite ends. But I've always been amazed by how when you're playing for your national side, they suddenly change sides and, you know, yes, there is camaraderie, there is love, but when you've got a bowl to Rohit Sharma or to Ishan Kishan, things are going to be different here in the middle.
Absolutely, nothing is bigger than playing for your country, and that is what these players play for. These players dream of, and to win matches in World Cup is every cricketer's dream, every youngster's dream, and be it Ishan Kishan, be it Rohit Sharma, or be it Trent Bolt, the passion will be the same, the ambition will be the same to win matches for your country. And what bigger stage than the World Cup?
Yes. It's not just the fast bowlers. I think Mitchell Santner is another weapon that New Zealand have and who's done well against the Indian batting. He's got, you know, your openers out more than a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think that's another big, huge thing when India bat first.
Yeah, Santner, in fact, Meha, was the man of the match in the World T20, India versus New Zealand in Nagpur, the last time they played in the World T20. He dismissed Rohit Sharma, dismissed Dhoni amongst others. Rishabh Pant will be the key against Santner. The ball will come into Rishabh Pant. Pant has to take Santner to the cleaners, even on the big Dubai ground.
Also, Ish Sodhi, the role of Ish Sodhi, he's been their best spinner, and Virat Kohli has struggled against him.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to play that matchup,
Absolutely.
T20 game of matchup. Important here for Virat Kohli, not just to be able to tackle his spin, but also score runs at a good rate.
He has to establish his supremacy early against Ish Sodhi, use his feet. You know, he has to take boundaries of Ish Sodhi. Sodhi has to go for 8 to 10 runs per over against Virat Kohli. You can't have a run rate of 5 to 6 runs per over against Ish Sodhi in the middle overs. India will lose momentum. Again, I'm stressing India needs 170 plus. They need the 20 runs cushion.
This is, I wonder how much of a difference toss will make in this match. Hopefully, it does not make that big of a difference because we've seen that in the last two matches that, you know, at least dew wasn't a huge problem. But the news from Dubai is that India are going to be batting first. New Zealand won the toss. They decided to field. On top of that, there is a couple of changes in the Indian team. There is Shardul Thakur who comes in for Bhuvneshwar Kumar. There's also a forced change where Surya Kumar Yadav goes out. He complained of back spasms, so he stayed back in the team hotel, and in came Ishan Kishan. Virat Kohli has already said at the toss that he will be opening the batting, so it'll be interesting. The matchup between Trent Bolt and the left-right combination of Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan, and how that plays out. But this is a crucial match for India. We are going to be joining you in the mid-innings as soon as India's batting ends, so you stick around for the latest here on News 9. But that's it from Nikhil. Shubhayan's already left. He's gone for the national anthem. So, but he will join us in our mid-innings show. That's it from all of us. We'll keep you updated as the match progresses. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.